chest. Are you okay?
Call 911.
We are so careful with our health, aren't we? We watch the salt on our food to protect our blood pressure. We get our cholesterol checked, hoping for good numbers. We know the dangers of smoking, and we try to get a little bit of movement into our days. We are diligent about all these physical things, these numbers on a page that we can track and measure. But what about the things we can't measure so easily? What about the quiet burdens we carry in our hearts and minds? The persistent worrying about a loved one, the low-grade hum of financial stress, or the simple loneliness that can sometimes creep into our days. We often treat these feelings as just a part of life, something to be endured. But what if I told you that these invisible weights have a physical impact on our health that is just as powerful, just as real, as any number on a lab report? Today, we are going to talk about what many doctors now believe is one of the biggest and most overlooked risk factors for heart disease. It's not a food, it's not a medication, it's a feeling. We're talking about chronic stress. In fact, groundbreaking research has shown that living with long-term, significant stress can carry the very same risk for having a heart attack as being a lifelong smoker, or having unmanaged high blood pressure or type 2 diabetes. Let that sink in for a moment. The emotional stress we experience is a physical event for our hearts. To understand why, we need to take a little trip back in time. Imagine our ancient ancestors. If they were suddenly faced with a dangerous animal, their bodies would instantly go into a life-saving emergency mode. A flood of hormones would prepare them to either fight or run away. Part of this brilliant response was that the body would release substances into the blood to make it clot more easily and to create inflammation. This was incredibly smart. If they were injured in the encounter, this response would help prevent them from bleeding to death and would kickstart the healing process. It was a perfect system for a short-term crisis. Now, let's come back to our modern world. We may not be running from wild animals, but our bodies don't know the difference between a physical threat and an emotional one. A heated argument, a pile of bills, or constant worrying can trigger that very same emergency mode. The problem is, for many of us, this mode doesn't switch off. It runs quietly in the background, day after day. This is what we call chronic stress. When your body is in this constant state of low-grade emergency, it's continuously releasing those same substances into your bloodstream. Your blood becomes a little stickier than it should be, and there's a level of silent, chronic inflammation simmering throughout your body. Think of it like a pot of water that is always just about to boil, but never gets to cool down. Over time, this constant inflammation can start to damage the delicate, smooth lining of your arteries, making them less flexible and creating rough patches where dangerous plaque can begin to build up. This is the very beginning of the process that leads to heart disease and heart attacks. This isn't just a theory. Scientists have seen this direct link in action. Through advanced imaging, they have watched how activity in the emotional centers of the brain, the parts that light up when we feel stressed or afraid, directly leads to increased inflammation in the arteries. It's a clear, physical pathway from our feelings to our heart. And for so many of the heart patients that doctors see, when they look back at the years leading up to a heart attack, there is almost always a story of significant, unmanaged stress. It's easy to see how this can happen. The most common sources of stress in our lives are often related to our work and our relationships, the very fabric of our daily existence. It's not always possible to simply remove the source of the stress. You can't just walk away from a family member who needs care or turn off the worries of the world. But acknowledging the physical impact of this stress is the first, most crucial step toward protecting yourself. At Senior Forward Health, we believe that true health care means caring for the whole person, your body, your mind, and your heart. If this is making sense to you, and you want to learn more about how to live a truly vibrant and healthy life after 60, take a moment to subscribe and join our wonderful community. Recognizing that stress is a physical risk is not a reason for more worrying. In fact, it's the opposite. It's a reason for hope, because unlike some other risk factors, managing our response to stress is something we have incredible power over. There are gentle, proven, and even enjoyable ways to teach our bodies how to switch off that emergency mode and return to a state of calm and healing. And in the next part, I'm going to share an extraordinary, true story about a doctor who discovered what might just be the single most powerful tool for not only stopping, but actually reversing heart disease, and it is something every single one of us can do, starting today. In the first part, we established a powerful, physical link between the chronic stress in our lives and the health of our hearts. I promised you an extraordinary true story that shines a bright light on a path to healing, a story that proves we have more control than we've ever been led to believe. This story takes place not in a high-tech lab, but in a peaceful health center in India, led by a forward-thinking cardiologist. For over 2 decades, this doctor had a strong intuition that our modern approach to heart disease was missing something vital. He saw patients who were getting stents and bypass surgeries, yet their underlying health wasn't truly improving. He believed that the key was not just to manage the disease, but to treat the whole person and reverse the damage. So, he conducted a groundbreaking study with a group of patients who had been diagnosed with serious heart disease. Scans showed they had significant blockages in their arteries, some as high as 70% or more. For various reasons, be it personal choice or financial constraints, these individuals decided against surgery and instead put their trust in a lifestyle-focused healing plan. The plan was beautifully simple and consisted of 3 core parts. First, they ate a wholesome, high-fiber vegetarian diet, rich in natural, unprocessed foods. Second, they incorporated gentle, consistent movement into their day, with brisk 30-minute walks. The third element, and perhaps the most important, was a daily 40-minute practice dedicated to calming the mind. This wasn't just sitting in silence, it was a guided practice of meditation and breathwork, designed to help them understand the roots of their emotions like anger and worrying, and to cultivate a deep sense of inner peace. These patients followed this gentle, nurturing plan for 2 years. At the end of that period, the cardiologist performed the exact same detailed scans of their arteries that he had done at the beginning. What he discovered was nothing short of revolutionary. In a field of medicine where the best one can usually hope for is to slow the progression of heart disease, his patients had achieved the seemingly impossible. They had begun to reverse it. On average, the blockages in their arteries had been reduced by an astounding 20%. A dangerous 70% blockage had become a much more manageable 50%. A 50% blockage had healed down to a safer 30%. This was clear, visual proof that the body has a profound capacity to heal itself. It showed that heart disease did not have to be a one-way street leading to more procedures and more medication. A new path was possible, but the doctor, being a true scientist, wanted to dig deeper. He looked at his data and asked a critical question: which part of the plan had made the biggest difference? Was it the healthy diet? Was it the daily exercise? Or was it the stress reduction from the meditation and breathwork? All 3 were undoubtedly important and worked together. But when he analyzed the numbers, one clear answer emerged. The single most powerful, independent predictor for the reversal of artery blockages was the daily 40-minute practice of calming the mind. Let that settle in. The diet was crucial, the exercise was essential. But the practice that moved the needle the most was the one that directly addressed the chronic stress, the one that taught the body how to finally switch off that constant, damaging emergency mode. This discovery was so profound, it challenged decades of conventional medical thinking. Sometimes, A solution that is so simple, so ancient, and doesn't come in a pill or from a surgical knife can be slow for the world to embrace. But the evidence was there, clear as day on the screen. A calm mind could literally help to heal a broken heart. This story is just about a group of patients in a faraway country. It's a story about the universal power that lies within each and every one of us. The power to influence our own physiology, to calm our nervous system, and to create an internal environment that fosters healing rather than disease, is not something you have to buy. It's something you already own. It is as close, as constant, and as accessible as your very own breath. So, what does this all mean for you? Sitting in your chair, right here and now. You don't need to completely overhaul your life or travel the world to begin experiencing these incredible benefits. The principles are simple and can be woven into any life, at any age. In our final part, we will bring this wisdom home. We'll explore the gentle, beautiful world of breathwork and meditation. I'll guide you through a few very simple techniques you can try immediately, in the comfort of your own home, to start this powerful journey of healing your heart from the inside out. In our journey together, we've uncovered a profound truth. Our emotional state of chronic stress, a powerful, physical force that can damage our hearts. But we also discovered the incredible story of hope from the cardiologist in India, who proved that a calm mind can help to heal our arteries. The key to his patient's success was a daily practice of meditation and breathwork. Now, I know that for some, the word meditation can sound intimidating or complicated, as if you have to sit perfectly still for hours and completely empty your mind. But I want to assure you, that's not what this is about. At its heart, this practice is simply about giving your mind and body a moment of rest. It's about learning how to consciously switch off that emergency mode we talked about. And the most powerful tool you have to do this is something you carry with you every single moment: your breath. Think of your breath as a remote control for your nervous system. When you are stressed, anxious, or frightened, what happens to your breathing? It becomes quick and shallow, high up in your chest. This is part of the emergency response, but the amazing thing is, this connection works both ways. By intentionally slowing down and deepening your breath, you send a direct, physical signal back to your brain that says, you are safe. The danger has passed. You can stand down. Instantly, your body begins to respond. Your heart rate slows, your blood pressure lowers, and the flood of stress hormones begins to recede. This is not just a feeling, it is a real, physiological change. So, how can you start using this powerful tool? I want to teach you a very simple technique you can try right now. I call it the calming square breath. You can do it while sitting in a chair, or even lying down. First, just find a comfortable position and gently close your eyes if you wish. 1. Slowly and gently, breathe in through your nose for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Now, hold that breath gently for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Slowly and completely, breathe out through your mouth for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. And finally, just rest with your lungs empty for a count of 4 before you begin again. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. That is one full cycle. You can't do it wrong. There is no need to strain. Just let the breath be easy and calm. Try doing just 4 or 5 rounds of this calming square breath. Notice how you feel afterwards. Even 2 or 3 minutes of this simple practice can interrupt the cycle of stress and bring a sense of peace. This is a practice you can turn to any time you feel worrying creeping in. Another beautiful and simple way to calm the mind is to practice what I call a mindful moment. When our minds are stressed, they are usually stuck worrying about the future or replaying the past. This simple exercise brings you back to the safety of the present. Wherever you are, just take a moment. First, Look around you and silently name 3 things that you can see. It could be a lamp, a picture on the wall, or a tree outside your window. Next, gently close your eyes. Listen carefully and name 2 things that you can hear. Perhaps it's the distant sound of traffic, the hum of a refrigerator, or the chirping of a bird. Finally, bring your awareness to your body and name 1 thing you can feel. It might be the texture of the fabric on your chair, the warmth of your hands in your lap, or the feeling of your feet resting on the floor. In just under a minute, you have gently guided your mind out of the spiral of stressful thoughts and anchored it in the reality of the present moment. These simple practices, a few minutes of intentional breathing, a few moments of mindful awareness, are the very essence of the life-changing tool used in that Indian hospital. It's not about the duration. It's about the consistency. A few minutes practice every day, a powerful dose of medicine for your heart. With every calm breath you take, you are actively lowering inflammation, making your blood less sticky, and creating the conditions your arteries need to heal. And of course, this powerful practice works best when it's woven into a life filled with other forms of self-care. Think of your health as a beautiful tapestry. This stress management is a key thread, and it becomes even stronger when combined with others, like nourishing your body with real, unprocessed foods, enjoying gentle movement that makes you feel good, and critically nurturing your social connections. Spending time with friends and family, sharing a laugh, or offering a warm hug are just emotionally pleasant. They are biochemically beneficial, helping to lower stress hormones and keep your heart happy. The most important message to take away today is this: your emotional well-being is not separate from your physical health. It is the very foundation of it. You are not a victim of stress. You are an active participant in your own healing. You have the power to protect and even heal your heart, and that power begins with your very next breath. Thank you for joining us today at Senior Forward Health. If this message resonated with you, please share it with someone you love who might be carrying a heavy burden. Let's move forward together, with calmer minds and healthier hearts.